Are opinions a thing of the past? The answers are in the data. I'm Tanya Hall for ZDNet, and joining me is Rob Thomas. He is the general manager of IBM Analytics. Welcome, Rob.
Great to be here, Tanya. Nice to talk to you.
So, what's the mission of IBM Analytics?
We are trying to make data simple and accessible for the entire world. You look at every company that I go meet with, I typically ask who has access to all the data they need to do their job. I'm yet to have anybody raise their hand. That's a significant problem in every company of any size today. Our mission is how do we make it simple and accessible for anybody in any role to get access to the data they need, whether they're in marketing, line of business, finance, sales, data scientist, any role that you could be in. We want to make data access incredibly easy.
What is unique about the methods that IBM uses to collect data, clean it up, and then make it available for artificial intelligence applications?
Think about it this way. Every organization is trying to get to AI. I would say that's an aspiration. It's a board level topic in every company. Everybody wants to get to AI. So if you work backwards from AI, you can't do AI without machine learning. You can't do machine learning without analytics. You can't do analytics without the right data. That's why I often say there's no AI without IA, meaning an information architecture to support what you're doing. We started thinking about what are those key building blocks that help you move along that ladder to AI. And we've come up with three. You need the ability to collect data, hybrid data management across any cloud environment, any system. You need an ability to organize your data. Think of that as a data catalog, way to understand all your data, wherever it may be. And then you need the capability to analyze data. You need data science, you need visualization, you need business analytics. Those are really the three key capabilities that we call the building blocks that get you along the AI ladder. So how you collect, how you organize, and how you analyze.
Tell us about the Machine Learning Everywhere event. What are some of the technologies that IBM uses to enable machine learning everywhere?
Sometimes I think that people get confused about machine learning. They hear it and they think like robots or cyborgs or something weird. Machine learning very simply is using software to automate something that typically was never done because it was too hard or it was done manually. We are trying to get machine learning embedded everywhere in analytics just to automate processes, largely processes that people don't really want to do. To give you an example, when an organization is trying to govern their data or understand their data, there's typically a role that's matching data sets or creating metadata, data about the data. That's a means to an end. Nobody really wants to do that, but they have to do that to get to the end point. If we can use software, we can build a machine learning model that will do automated data matching, do automated metadata creation, which is what we've done. It completely changes the roles of those individuals, because then those individuals can focus on data science, they can focus on business analytics, they can focus on, let's go build a new business model or a new business area. Machine learning is fundamentally about automating tasks. That's a couple of examples, but we're really just getting started on that.
You've said that building AI systems involves more than learning how to perform a specific task from data. It requires an infrastructure. What does that infrastructure look like?
It's changing dramatically. If you go back 20 years, the data infrastructure used to be one thing, a database. And then you fast forward and open source comes to, I'd say, the mainstream on the heels of Linux. You started having other types of data, unstructured data. So data management has really evolved from being just a database to, I think of it as a fluid data layer. All the different ways that you would manage data, whether it's a database, a data warehouse, Hadoop, things like Postgres, MongoDB. Every organization needs a variety of capabilities so they can put basically the best capability against the job that's to be done. That's what we've done, is we built out our data management platform. It's a combination of technology we built ourselves, partnerships we've done with companies like MongoDB, like Hortonworks, like Enterprise DB for Postgres, is we want to provide all the options that somebody would need to manage data.
What's a Ben Jolfson bottleneck and how do you avoid them?
The bottleneck idea is that, so go back to this point of an AI ladder. People are trying to get to AI. 81% of organizations say they can't get to AI today because they don't have the data to do that. Either they can't find it or it's not clean, it's not in a form that's actionable. That's a pretty remarkable stat, actually, which came out of an MIT study. So 81% can't do it. That is, so data is the fundamental bottleneck to AI. That's why I think about this as you got to understand what those different building blocks that you can put in place that will fix that bottleneck issue. Because anybody can go build an AI application or a one-off AI use case, but the future will be about AI at scale. So AI on all your data for all use cases. That requires a data architecture to support that, which means you can't have those bottlenecks.
You've said that AI can bring human features to technology. What do you mean by AI mimicking and improving human functions?
I think that's ultimately the promise of AI is it can use machine learning to automate things, as we talked about, but it opens up a whole new world if you've got access to natural language processing or image recognition. So all these human aspects, whether it's speech, vision, hearing, if you can bring that to data, it changes the way that you can interact with products as you work with your consumers. Just to give you an example for us, as we've built out our products digitally, we've been using the Watson chat assistant to drive our customer service of our digital products. It's amazing how smart Watson is. Once you train it with the data about a product, it's an absolute expert user that can answer any question at all based on whatever a user types in. So that's combining data understanding with natural language interpretation. That's a really good example of how you bring human features to data, and it completely changes the experience for a customer.
What might be the next breakthrough or big breakthrough or even killer app in artificial intelligence?
It's moving so fast. It's hard to predict. The way that we think about it is as a data problem. And one of the biggest challenges I see in data is it's popping up everywhere. It used to be just in the data center. Now your data is on multiple clouds. Now you have IoT devices, you got telematic devices. I see a world, we call it SQL the world, which is you need the ability to write a SQL query and have it find data anywhere in the world, whether it's on an IoT device, a mobile device, in a data center, wherever it may be. We've got some pretty interesting technology that can enable you to SQL the entire world, take advantage of processing power on the edge. That's where I see this going.
How do you build a data culture in your company?
Step one is you have to talk about it. When I talk to clients, I start by talking about what's your data maturity? Are you focused on taking out cost with your data? Are you focused on modernizing your data warehouse? Or are you more advanced and you're focused on self-service, analytics, or new business models? So understand where you're on that curve. Once you understand where you are, can you pinpoint where you want to go? It sounds like a really basic discussion, but most places I have that dialogue, there's often disagreement about where we are on that curve. There's different interpretations of where we want to go. All of those things, I would say, restrict getting to successful outcomes and restrict this idea of a data culture. Because if you know where you want to go, then you say, all right, so how do we build the team to get there? It's a mix of data scientists, it's a mix of data engineers, it's a mix of business analysts. So you kind of change the complexion of the skills or grow your own team to have those skills. Then you start to get this idea of a data culture, which ultimately means there will be no opinions. Opinions don't matter. The answer to every tough question is somewhere in the data. Let's go find it.
Well, you've got some interesting examples, I know, of how data-driven companies are performing and some great insights, certainly on your blog. If somebody wants to connect with you, Rob, and they want to find out more about your work, how can they do that?
Twitter's the best place, at Rob D. Thomas. At me on Twitter. Would love to connect with you there. I do write a blog. It's at robdthomas.com. Either place is great.
Thanks again for your time and your insights. And you know what? If you guys want to follow me in more of my interviews, you can do that right here on ZDNet or Tech Republic, or maybe find me on Twitter. You can actually go to my website by going to tanyahall.net, or you can go to Twitter at @TanyaHallRadio. I'd love to connect with you. Thanks for watching.